I want to first of all start by thanking everybody who came today. We know the schedule was a little upheaved with the weather we had this summer. It's been a very hot summer. We were worried about the weather today, but I think we ended up being okay because rain was forecast and the rain held off, and it's also not too hot. So thank you all for accommodating us in your schedules and coming today. Yes, big round of applause for everybody who's here. And then I also want to thank all the agencies who came. They come every year to provide great information. We always appreciate seeing them and helping to advocate that for their services as well. Also, a shout out to the city departments that are here. They're big supporters of ours in ensuring systemic access in all the work they do. And I really want to thank Mayor Wu, who was unable to be here today, but we do have some people from her administration, so they'll be speaking next. And other than that, I just want to say I hope you all got some great information, and I hope that you all stay for the whole program. We have some great speakers. I do also want to thank our advisory board members who are here today. Big shout out to our chairperson, Wesley Ireland. Yay! Great job, Wes. We hold virtual meetings once a month. We would love it to have more participation from the public. The meetings are once a month on a Wednesday evening on Zoom, and you can get more information by emailing disability@boston.gov or visiting our website, boston.gov/disability. So with that, I would like to turn the mic over to my Chief Mary Angeli Sola-Severa, who is the Chief of Equity and Inclusion for the City of Boston.
This is good? Okay. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes a todos. I'll say that again. Buenas tardes. I love it. I always got to bring in a little bit of who I am. My name is Mary Angeli. I am the Chief of Equity and Inclusion, and I am so delighted to welcome you all to a piece of our City Hall Plaza. Very soon we'll be in the actual plaza. I'm really excited for some of the announcements that will be shared today as well. As Commissioner McCosh just shared, I am also excited to announce that the Disabilities Commission is officially in the Equity and Inclusion Cabinet. Mayor Wu, Commissioner McCosh, myself, we've had multiple conversations about how we need to, as a city, transform city practices, and we cannot do that without thinking about inclusion and access at every point of our policy-making process, of our program decision-making, and our funding as well. And so it was very important for us to proactively shift this department into the cabinet so that as we continue to change the way that we do business as usual, we're thinking about this at the forefront. So thank you for all the work that you've done. In the cabinet, we also have a couple of other departments. I see a few of us here. Some have also left. But we have the Office of Immigrant Advancement, the Office of Women's Advancement, LGBTQ Advancement, Black Male Advancement, the Language and Communications Access Office, as well as the Human Rights Commission and Fair Housing. And our latest addition, the Disabilities Commission. A lot of departments. We're going to get there, but the goal really is for us to engage in those really important conversations about the intersections of our identity so that we can really think about moving forward policy that is going to impact every resident in the city of Boston. With that, I'll pass off the mic, but thank you all for all the work that you do. I'm a former teacher, so this warms my heart to see such a beautiful, diverse community here gathered together. I know that our little ones and our elderly population are going to be okay because every single one of you is doing their part and making sure that we're building a city for everyone. Thank you.
Next, we'd like to invite up to the stage Mayor Michelle Wu's Chief of Staff, Tiffany Chu. Come on up.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for coming on this beautiful summer/fall day. So I'm Tiffany Chu. I am the Chief of Staff to Mayor Michelle Wu. And on behalf of the mayor, I wanted to pass along a few messages to you all. So first of all, I wanted to thank the esteemed members of our Disability Advisory Board for all the time that you all spend volunteering for the city and for all the work that you do to make the city of Boston a more inclusive place. Also wanted to thank Commissioner McCosh and the Equity Inclusion Cabinet for her team in City Hall for all the work that you all do, from responding to COVID to our unprecedented Orange Line shutdown. They are truly critical to the work that we do here. So on a more personal level, ADA Day is special to me because my uncle was born with a disability, and my aunt was one of the last cases of childhood polio in Taiwan, which left her with a pretty severe walking disability. And being a part of my family, my extended family, and all the relatives who chipped in to help out left us with a lot of conversations around adaptation, travel, independence, and combined with my background in architecture, it's not lost on me that the way that we design our built environment around us is truly and fundamentally intertwined with the way that we think about inclusiveness in the communities that we live in. So I am super excited to welcome you all back to a soon-to-be unveiled City Hall Plaza and to give you all a sneak peek into what's to come. And I will say, having done a little bit of a walking tour myself with the operations team and the facilities team and the property management team, there are so many beautiful design elements, materials, plantings, a new amphitheater, water features, and so many more things that are now truly accessible in a way that had never been before. So in a few minutes, Commissioner McCosh will be presenting the mayor's proclamation honoring our public facilities division and department for all the work that they did to get us to this place. I know it's been many, many hard years with Carrie and her team trying to figure out all the details, in and outs, timings through a very difficult pandemic to make sure that City Hall Plaza welcomes all of our residents and visitors to the People's Hall as its front yard. A couple more things on behalf of the mayor. So accessibility at City Hall has been a long-standing issue for the mayor, starting from her time as a city councilor and as city council president when she oversaw the project to make the council chamber itself fully inclusive. And as she said when she was sworn in, the 3 steps that used to exist in the city council chamber were a barrier between our government and the people that we are here to serve. And by bringing the floor up 3 steps, we changed what this space could be, reshaping it to be a place for everyone. When we make City Hall more accessible, we are all raised up. So for those of you who might not know, we have 3 guiding principles here in this administration. Number 1 is to do the big things by getting the small things right. Number 2 is to get City Hall out of City Hall and into our neighborhoods. And number 3 is about embracing the possibility. And that embracing of possibility is our dedication to an accessible City Hall, which many people said could not be done. And we want to really truly represent that in our commitment to an accessible city. So to close, thank you for participating in this very important day with us, and also for participating in the important work of civic engagement. Government is at its best when we are able to include everyone's voices, and Boston is at our best when everyone is able to make their voice heard. So thank you, and looking forward to spending more time with you.
Thank you, Chief. I really appreciate your remarks on behalf of the mayor, because we've seen her demonstration to accessibility and inclusion through her work on the City Council, and we already see it transferring to her work as the mayor of Boston. And that was a really good transition, because one point that Chief Chu made was about getting City Hall out of City Hall, and that's really what our advisory board members do. They dedicate their own time and abilities to help us reach the neighborhoods. We always say that they are the eyes and ears of City Hall. So they give us input on what the priorities and concerns are in the neighborhoods, and we share information with them on what the mayor is working on, so that we can always stay in touch and have everybody with a disability has a seat at the table. And mentioning civic engagement, which is also a priority of Mayor Wu and us, we will have a civic engagement event on Thursday, September 27th. It will be held on the 5th floor of City Hall, and we'll welcome everybody in to see the City Council Chamber renovation if you haven't seen it, meet your City Council liaisons, meet your Office of Neighborhood Service liaisons. In case you don't know, every neighborhood has a liaison who is a direct link to Mayor Wu. So if you don't know your liaison, we'll welcome you out to come meet them. You can also register to vote, check out the AutoMark machine, and learn about a number of other ways how you can get involved in local government, because we really want the voices of people with disabilities to be heard. And now is the time in the program where we will move on to recognition. Before I get to the main honoree today, I do want to give a big shout out to my staff. I have a small staff, and we always say they're small but mighty. My Chief of Staff, Andrea Patton, is she's always at my right hand. Today she's at my left hand. But she does the incredible work of looking at policies, analyzing different things that we can do to create systemic access. She is really my boss, so I give her all the credit in the world. And then I also have an architectural access team led by Patricia Mendez. Yep. And her colleague, Sarah Leung. Sarah Leung is being recognized later this year with the Shattuck Award for an outstanding public service employee. So very proud of Sarah for all her work. My other staff include our staff support specialist, Chris Morowski, who everybody needs a Chris on their team because Chris does everything that anybody needs. He's a social worker by education and training, and he really works closely with our constituents to respond to all of their requests and needs. We also have, we manage the accessible parking program, which is run by Kylie Potter. She's a newest member of our team, but she's doing a great job. And then finally, our team is rounded out by Colleen Flanagan, who does outreach and engagement. So Colleen is the one who's actually getting out to the neighborhoods, engaging with residents. She does all our social media. So she works with Chris on our weekly email newsletter. If anybody hasn't signed up for our newsletter, I encourage you to do so. Just email disability@boston.gov and ask to be added to the newsletter list, or you can sign up yourself on at boston.gov/disability. So now I would like to turn the program over to our main honoree. This is Chief Dion Irish, and we're recognizing him today for all the great work that he and his team have done on renovating City Hall Plaza. Yep. Some of you may know and some of you may not know, but City Hall Plaza traditionally has been really difficult for people with disabilities to navigate. When I was first appointed in 2010, I was working with the newly formed advisory board to create an accessible path on City Hall Plaza. If you don't know the history of it, the plan at the time was to create one path that people with disabilities could use. And it's still here. It's the asphalt strip that kind of goes in the middle of the bricks. And it was a huge victory at the time. But you can just see the difference in thinking between 2010 and 2022. Today, the city is saying, no, we're not just having a path. We're having the whole plaza be accessible. And this was really, this was a feat of amazing logistics, because there's a 30-foot difference in elevation between Congress Street and Cambridge Street. So the team, the consultants and the property management and public facilities team really had to take on a Herculean challenge of mitigating this steep rise and fall from one side of the plaza to the other. So it's going to be done now with a series of sloped walkways. They've gotten rid of most of the steps, and it's really an incredible, incredible feat. We were hoping to be able to celebrate you all and welcome you to the plaza, the new plaza today, but that will be coming very soon. So on that note, as Chief Chu said, we are presenting a proclamation to Chief Irish today. Today in Boston will be known as Public Facilities Day in recognition of all the hard work of this amazing city department. So I'd like to welcome Chief Irish up to the mic. And we are going to present him with this proclamation and then ask him to say a few words. And Andrea is going to read the proclamation.
So, signed by the Mayor of Boston, it says, whereas the Public Facilities Department of the City of Boston has been a champion of accessibility for all residents in Boston's public buildings, from Boston City Hall to the Boston Centers for Youth and Family and the neighborhood branches of the Boston Public Library. And public facilities staff worked tirelessly to find creative designs for a new City Hall Plaza that would eliminate barriers and achieve a universally accessible design for this critical public space. And the team at Public Facilities moved quickly and efficiently this year to advance a project that will ensure access to the third floor mezzanine inside Boston City Hall for generations to come. And because of this commitment to access that has improved the daily lives of countless Boston residents in all neighborhoods, now, Mayor Michelle Wu did declare today Boston Public Facilities Department Day. Thank you so much. Welcome, Chief Irish.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Commissioner. I really appreciate this acknowledgement that's been given to the Public Facilities Department for their work not only on the City Hall Plaza project, but just on projects throughout the city. This is a group of really talented and dedicated public servants that take on complicated, very expensive construction projects. They could easily go off into the private sector and build like skyscrapers and tall buildings for for-profit organizations and get paid a lot more than we actually are able to pay them. But they do this work because they prefer to build a school, a library, a police station, a City Hall Plaza that's open and accessible for everyone. So I really thank you and appreciate you, and I'll give them a round of applause, please. And although today is Public Facilities Department Day, I also want to recognize Commissioner McCosh and her department, as well as the advisory board. Yeah, you can give it up. You know, sometimes we tend to take things and people for granted, but we are truly lucky to have Commissioner McCosh. I've been fortunate enough to work with her for many years in a variety of positions. I was at Inspection Services years ago, and she made sure that we were thinking accessibility first. When I was commissioner of the election department, she was on our election advisory committee, and she made sure that we thought about accessibility first. And you know, you go on and on. The city council chamber, you name it. There's so many projects throughout this city that has her fingerprints on it and her department's fingerprints on it. So thank you again, and a pleasure to be a part of a team with you on it. So I also want to thank Chief Celis Severa and the entire commission for this proclamation. It's great to see everyone here today, and I look forward to seeing you at the event when we open up the other side of the plaza. And please know that we're also going to work on this side of the plaza. This is the next phase. I want to give a big shout out to the director of the Public Facilities Department, Kerry Griffin. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication on the City Hall Plaza project and many other projects by ensuring more accessible space for all to enjoy. Accessibility is a primary focus of the City Hall Plaza project. The north entrance is now fully accessible, and the plaza can be fully accessed from Congress Street to Cambridge Street, as Commissioner McCosh mentioned, bridging a almost 30 feet grade difference. Universal accessibility ensures that the thoroughfares through the plaza and the entrances and egresses are just as accessible to those traveling by wheelchair, pushing strollers, as to those traveling by foot. The New Hanover Walk creates a fully accessible pedestrian promenade that connects Congress Street to Cambridge Street and replaces stairs with a sloped walk from Congress Street to the main plaza. All the primary entrances are now fully accessible, including the main entrance and the newly, soon-to-be newly reopened north entrance that will directly lead to access to the second floor where we have many transactional services. There's companion seating in performance areas and an array of seating types to suit diverse user needs and preferences. striving for not just accessibility but inclusion. People with disabilities not only be able to get through a space, but they can experience it alongside and equally to those without disabilities. Our new Civic Pavilion on Congress Street creates a publicly accessible indoor community space that overlooks Hanover Street. Accessible materials, bricks are closely joined and stabilized by edge restraints and treated against chipping to ensure a smooth and even surface for those with mobility aids. We would like to especially thank Commissioner McCosh and her team in helping us to achieve the goals of the new plaza, and through the cross-departmental collaboration, which has been a key to ensuring a more accessible and welcoming civic front yard that we could not have done without you and your team. We also want to acknowledge a lot of the other teams who played a strong role in this plaza project. The Mayor's Office of Urban Mechanics, the Property Management Department, our architectural firm Sasaki, and they'll offer a few words about the project afterwards. Shaman Construction, Skanska, the City Parks Department, the Arts and Culture Cabinet, and they'll also be adding artwork to the plaza. Our Economic Opportunity and Inclusion Cabinet, the Boston Water and Sewer Commission, the Boston Fire Department, the Boston Police Department, the Landmarks Commission, and the Inspection Services Department. With all that being said, I'd like to thank Commissioner McCosh again for helping us to move this forward, and it's an honor that I will now pass this over to Fisk Crowell from Sasaki to go a little bit more about the design of the space. And we can't wait for you all to see it at our ribbon cutting event. So, Fisk.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Commissioner McCosh. Thank you, Chief Irish, and the entire city team gathered here today for this wonderful celebration. And I appreciate the opportunity to say a few words. I will be brief. My name is Fisk Crowell. I'm a principal with the firm Sasaki, and we have been working with the city and your team on this project implementing this new and innovative transformation of the City Hall Plaza. What a wonderful occasion to be here today celebrating ADA Day. And what an appropriate venue for such a gathering. I mean, we haven't reached the finish line yet, but we're making really good progress. It's coming around the corner, and we're really looking forward to that. As part of the city's project team, led by the city's Operation Cabinet and the more recent guidance of Chief Irish, Chief of Operations for the city, as well as a host of designers, engineers, and construction contractors, managers, we actually started work on this project in 2018. So it's now been a little more than 4 years to get to this point of closure. But for the city, this project has been in the works for the better part of a decade. It's been a major goal for them to make this entire complex accessible. And there have been studies that help prepare for the design process, that set guidelines, and it's been a very strong working group moving into the design together. Through all of these studies, which were really branded over the years as Rethink City Hall, it really was meant to be a transformative approach to rethinking the building. Universal design was established at the beginning of all of the discussions to be the primary guiding objective that would direct the design solutions for the project, both on the site and the access into and through the building. This has, as you will see when it opens, included the design of a central connecting pathway through the plaza, which is informally called the Hanover Promenade. And this provides continuous accessible walkway to negotiate the 30 feet almost of grade change from Congress to Cambridge Street. As well, there is, as Chief Irish mentioned, a new accessible entrance to an expanded north entry into the building, which allows for this accessibility. Probably the most significant change, and I think all of us reflect back on what this plaza was in its infancy, but we actually have taken out hundreds of granite steps. I think the image from Congress Street in particular has always been a granite wall that's moving up the embankment. And in fact, 18,000 linear feet of granite block has been removed from the plaza and now replaced by an accessible pathway. Today, we're close to the completion of the first phase of construction and the opening of the plaza to the public and the hopeful extension of the work to this portion of the plaza, and certainly looking forward to more civic celebrations such as this as we're sharing today. So thank you very much.
All right, wow, so that's really exciting about the plaza, and we will keep in touch with everybody and let you know when the ribbon cutting is so you can come see it for yourself. That wraps up our program today, but please make sure everybody got a t-shirt, something to eat, and enjoy the day, and we'll be in touch soon. Thanks, everybody.